Hello everybody, please welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Sami Baya. Today's video lesson is about media planning, steps involved in the media planning process. That is the title of this video lesson. What are the steps which are involved in media planning? Step 1, market analysis. Every media plan begins with the market analysis of environmental analysis. Complete review of internal and external factors is required to be done. At this stage of the market analysis, media planners try to identify answers of the following questions. The first question is identification of the target audience. Which is the audience for our product? This happens to be the most important consideration in the media decisions. We first examine our market plans and advertising plans. These provide us details about the audience for our product. Detailed studies of our audience can be made. We can describe our audience in terms of age, religion, sex, education. These are demographic characteristics. We can describe it in terms of their income and occupation. Audience can also be described in psychographic terms, and that is activities, interests, opinions forming a lifestyle, personality traits, brand preferences. After having a complete picture of our target audience, we undertake the study of the media's readership in terms of demographic, economic, and psychographic terms. Agencies conduct their own media research. Even media itself provides a demographic profile of their readers. There are readership surveys that guide us. We have to select those media vehicles whose demographic profile matches the target audience of our product. We can target our product to a segment of the market. Then we have to select that media vehicle which reaches this segment. We may have to use another media vehicle to reach some other segment. It should, however, be seen that a united image is projected and consistency of message is maintained through different media mix. The target audience can be classified in terms of age, sex, income, occupation, and other variables. The classification of target audience helps media planner to understand the media consumption habit and accordingly choose the most appropriate media or media mix. Different customers differ with regard to age, income, education level, personality, attitude, etc. So if target audience or customers are educated and young, print media and TV can be selected. If number of target customers is more, then mass media like TV, newspapers will be suitable. Now, we say that the media planners will try to identify answers of some questions. And the first question was identification of the target audience. And the second question is looking at study of factors affecting media planning. There are various factors which affect media planning. While making media planning, the media planner must consider certain factors which are A, internal factors. And in internal factors, these are factors which are directly related to company, like size of company, advertising budget, size of organization, distribution strategy of organization, potential market area, etc. Advertising budget is very important factor while selecting media planning. If size of ad budget is more, then costly media like TV can be selected. If size of the ad budget is small, then the cheap media will be selected. So while making the media planning, the media planner must consider a second factor, which is the external factors. External factors include media coverage, media image, media adopted by competitors, etc. So while selecting the media, the advertiser must consider the media selected by competitors and leaders of that industry. Along with cost of various media should be compared. Along with cost of various media should be compared. Now, we say that in the step 1 of market analysis, in this stage, media planners try to identify answers to some questions. We say the first question was identification of the target audience. The second question was studying factors affecting media planning. And the question number 3 is identifying the geographical area. Total geographical area of target market is identified. Those areas where the sale of the company's product is more are identified. For low potential market area, smaller advertising budget is allocated. The geographical area also includes whether advertising should be done at local level or national level or international level. So let's look at step 2, which is involved in media planning. When we talk of media planning, we have steps involved in the media planning process. And we said step 1 was market analysis. And step 2 in media planning process, step 2 in the media planning process is message distribution. The first step in the setting up of objectives was the definition of the target audience. The next step is the distribution of message to this audience. The number of messages and the frequency of their appearance matter a lot. We have to decide whether a single message is sufficient or there should be several repetitions of the same. This leads us to the concepts of reach and frequency, which are to be balanced. The overall constraint on both of these concepts is the advertising budget. We also have to calculate the total message weight of the campaign. So, let's look at reach. Reach in the step 2 of message distribution, reach indicates a percentage of target audience who is exposed at least once in a given period to a particular media vehicle. It does not matter how many times they actually see or hear the ad message. We concentrate on one exposure only. Thus, if 3,000 out of a target audience of 10,000 teenagers tune into the FM radio 1 or more times during a month, the reach is 30%. That is 3,000 divided by 10,000. Though reach measures exposure, it does not actually measure those who have noticed a particular ad. The objective of reaching 30% of target audience is based on the people who tune in Radio FM, irrespective of the fact whether these people have taken cognizance of our ad. So it is a term, reach is a term that is used for all media, that is print, TV, radio, and it indicates the number of people who are actually exposed to the medium in a given period, which is normally linked to the periodicity of the campaign. All right. So, which we say this is normally linked to the periodicity of the medium. While deciding about the reach, the time period selected is either 4 weeks or corresponds to the purchase cycle of the product. Then we have frequency and message distribution. Frequency indicates the number of times people in the target audience are exposed to a media vehicle during a given period of time. Average frequency gives the average number of times people or households in our target audience are exposed to a media vehicle. Generally, a single exposure may not work either in creating an awareness or provoking someone to buy. The more the exposures, the better the impact. Besides, more exposures make us rise above the competitive noise. So it is good to plan how many we would like our audience to see the message in a given medium. While introducing a new product, more frequency. When the ad size is small, we need more frequency. When the message is complex, we need more frequency. Higher frequency helps us understand, helps us stand out in the clutter. We have to decide the effective frequency. It is not frequency which is needed to communicate effectively with the target audience. It is a difficult thing to settle. There can be a minimum frequency and maximum frequency to be effective. Lesser frequency makes the communication ineffective. Higher frequency may be a waste of ad resources. There can be also ad fatigue if there are too many repetitions. So while we talk of effective frequency, to set the least number of exposures needed, we also consider effective reach to indicate the percentage of the target audience exposed to the ad, some minimum number of times or more. This adds the dimension of repetition to the concept of reach and frequency. Greater reach and frequency stretches the media budget. It is necessary to optimize both reach and frequency. Balancing is difficult, especially when 2 or more ads are being employed or 2 or more people are being used. We have, therefore, to consider the message weight of the entire media plan. Then the third thing under step 2, that is message distribution, is message weight. The sum of the reach number of specific media vehicles in a given media plan gives the message weight. Here, while summing the reach, duplication or overlapping is ignored. Message weight is expressed in terms of gross impressions or gross rating points, that is GRP. Gross impressions are a summation of exposures of the target audience to media vehicles in a media plan. Each exposure is counted as one impression. Suppose an advertiser puts advertisements on a program of a TV channel and viewed 5 times by 6,000 people in the target audience and 7 times by 6,000 people in a 4 weeks period. Also, suppose during the same 4 weeks period, the ad is put on another program of a second TV channel viewed 3 times by 3,000 people in the target audience. The gross impressions will have some calculation. So the first group receives 30,000 impressions, the second group receives 42,000 impressions, and the third group receives 9,000 impressions. Thus, in all 81,000 impressions that are received during short, let me rephrase this again. The first group receives 30,000 impressions, the second group receives 42,000 impressions, and the third group receives 9,000 impressions. Thus, in all 81,000 impressions which are received during a 4 weeks period, as duplication is ignored between the media vehicles while summing up the impressions, we use the term gross. So for a mass media like a TV channel, message weight is expressed in gross rating points. That is GRPS. So it is a sum of the rating points of all programs in the TV media plan. So one rating point indicates 1% of the target audience. So the step 3 involved in the media planning process is what we call selecting the suitable media. The step 3 in media planning process is what we call selecting suitable media. So for selecting appropriate media, different media are compared on the basis of cost per reader, cost per viewer, media image, etc. So while selecting media, the advertiser should ensure that media matches with features of target audience. The selected media should match with message requirements. For example, if message involves demonstration, then media with audio-visual effects will be selected. While selecting suitable media, availability of media should also be kept in mind. So it is possible that a particular media suits our requirements, but it is already booked, so some other media will have to be selected. Step 4 in media planning process is what we call selecting optimum media mix. If the advertiser feels that no single media is sufficient in itself in achieving advertising objectives, then different media can be used in combination, and their optimum mix is decided by the advertiser. By combining different media, advertiser can increase coverage and improve the chances of achieving advertising goals. Overall, advertising budget also influences the ration of different elements of media mix. For example, to achieve advertising objectives and after considering advertising budget, the advertiser may decide a mix of 45%, that is television, 20% newspaper, 10% magazine, 15% outdoor media, and 10% internet media. So different advertisers may decide different media mix depending upon their requirements, but media mix should be such that advertiser can communicate advertising message to the target audience most effectively and at lowest possible cost. So the step 5 in media planning process is selecting suitable media vehicle within each selected media. Step 5 is selecting suitable media vehicle within each selected media. After selecting media, appropriate media vehicles are to be deselected. For example, after deciding that advertising is to be done through newspaper, it is decided that in which newspaper it is be done, whether through Indian, for instance, whether it's through Daily Nation newspaper, if it's in Kenya, Standard newspaper, and so on. So if it is decided that advertising is to be done through magazine, then out of the various magazines, appropriate magazine or magazines are selected. If advertising is to be done through television, then it is decided that at which TV channel or in which TV program advertisement is to be given. So suitable media vehicles are selected to attain media objectives. So the step 6 in media planning process is media scheduling. In media scheduling, decisions regarding date or time when these advertisements are to be shown are taken. In media scheduling, time gap in two advertisements is also decided. Purpose of media scheduling is to issue the advertisements at appropriate time with appropriate frequency so that target audience can be contacted at minimum advertising cost. It helps to control wasteful advertising expenses. If advertisement is related to product to be used by college students, then it is better to show the advertisement in the evening time in TV programs. So if the product is of seasonal nature, then advertisement should be shown more frequently in the season period and less frequently in the off-season period. So then we have the step 7 in media planning process, which is executing advertising program. After selecting media and deciding its schedule, advertising department is given the task of designing suitable advertising copy and executing it in the selected media. Some companies assign this task of designing advertising to professional advertising agencies. Then we finally have step 8, which is follow-up and evaluation. After implementing advertising program, advertiser evaluates its effectiveness to know whether media objectives have been achieved, whether the media plan has contributed in achieving overall advertising objectives. So answers to these questions help the advertiser to know success or failure of media strategy. If our media strategy is not effective, then corrective actions will be taken for future media planning so that in future, better media plans can be made. Thank you for watching this video. Please drop that key point that you've gathered from watching this full video. All right, let's discuss the steps in media planning process in the comment section below. See you later in the next video.